everyone. For this discussion, I'm going to talk about aging, retirement, and just like overall thoughts about getting older. First, what concerns me the most about aging physically is probably losing independence, like not being able to do basic things on my own, whether that's walking without help, driving, or even just taking care of myself. I think that's something a lot of people don't really think about when they're younger, but it's honestly kind of scary. Also, health issues in general, like chronic pain or diseases, because that can really affect the quality of your life. Psychologically, I think what worries me the most is things like memory loss or cognitive decline, like the idea of not remembering people you love or not being fully aware of what's going on around you is really unsettling. I also think that loneliness is a big issue for older adults, especially if family members aren't around as much. So that's something I think about too. As for retirement, I have mixed feelings about it. On one hand, I like the idea of not having to work every day and finally having time to relax and do things I actually enjoy. But at the same time, I feel like work gives people a sense of purpose. So I think it might feel weird to suddenly not have that anymore. For me personally, I think the pros of retirement would be having more freedom, less stress, and more time for family or hobbies. But cons would probably be things like boredom, feeling unproductive, and also financial stress, depending on how prepared someone is. Like if you don't have enough saved, retirement could actually be really stressful instead of relaxing. What scares me about retirement is honestly the idea I feel like I don't have a purpose anymore. I feel like a lot of people tie their identity to their job, so when that's gone, it might feel like, okay, now what? Also, the financial aspect is definitely scary, especially with how expensive everything is now. When it comes to death, I wouldn't say I'm consistently scared of it, but it does make me uncomfortable to think about. I would, I think what worries me the most isn't necessarily being dead, but like the process of dying and also leaving people behind. The idea of losing loved ones is also really hard to think about. I think that honestly is the scariest part for me. If I had to pick an ideal age to live until now, I'd probably say somewhere in my 80s. I feel like that's long enough to experience life, but not so long that you're dealing with extreme health issues or suffering. Of course, it depends on the person, but that's just how I see it. When I'm elderly, I think I would consider myself to have aged successfully. I'm still independent, mentally aware, and able to enjoy life in some way. Like, even if I'm not in perfect health, I would want to still feel like myself and still be able to connect with people. To increase my chances of aging successfully, I think things like staying active, both physically and mentally, are really important. Also, maintaining relationships, because social support seems like a huge factor in overall well being. And just taking care of your youth early on instead of waiting until something goes wrong. Some major challenges to successful aging would probably be health problems, financial issues, and social isolation. Those seem like the biggest things that can really impact someone's quality of life as they get older. So yeah, overall, I think aging is kind of a mix of positive and negative things. It's something that's inevitable, but I think how we prepare for it can make a big difference. Thank you all for listening to my discussion and have a lovely day. And what are your thoughts on this? And because aging is definitely a concern among people, and it would be nice to hear your all thoughts and what you would what your opinion would be about this. That's all. Bye.